Tzu Chi volunteers continue to care for the affected residents after the gas explosion in Sanchong. Residents in Chuanghua Daishi are having higher cancer rates suspectedly due to air pollution near a factory. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. The gas explosion in New Taipei City's Sanchong District, Taiwan, on April 2nd, 4 a.m. in the morning, has caused 2 deaths and 5 injuries. The explosion point is on the 2nd floor of an apartment, and the affected residents are now being accommodated in a temporary shelter nearby. Tzu Chi volunteers continue to provide food and transportation, as well as planning for home visitations in the future. 4 a.m. in the morning, a massive explosion sound breaks out after a flash of light, and the signboard collapsed with a large amount of debris. The firefighters soon arrived to the spot and put off the fire within half an hour. Walking into the building next door, glass debris are all over the floor due to the explosion, and the terrace is equally frightening. After the evaluation from a technician, certain parts of the destructed building must undergo some structural retrofit works.
Now there's no serious structural damage, so I would say that now the whole building is at least in a safe condition.
Throwing down the destroyed furniture, the cleaning team comes to help the residents to clear out the rooms. The nearby restaurant's fridge and iron door has been destructed by the explosion, but the cause of the explosion is under investigations.
Other sisters came to bring us breakfast.
From the explosion spot to the temporary shelters, Tzu Chi volunteers have accompanied them all the way to comfort their frightening hearts and provide warmth.
We mobilized all of our sisters and home visitation volunteers to comfort them.
Helping people to walk down the stairs, volunteers coordinate a bus to take the affected residents to a hotel and provide information on relevant resources.
We are very grateful to Tzu Chi to arrive at the earliest moment and send many volunteers to help at the disaster spot.
In Sanchong's Tzu Chi ground, volunteers are preparing 100 lunchboxes for the nearby residents and the rescue team. On the other hand, they are also helping to accommodate the affected residents.
There are Jing's noodle and cookies, and also some snacks if you're hungry here.
Volunteers gather everyone's power to plan for the future home visitations to make sure all affected residents will be all right. In Durban, South Africa, at the 33rd Local Volunteer Training Camp for Leaders, the most important event was the certification of Tzu Chi volunteers. This year, 83-year-old volunteer Tola Kella officially put on the commissioner IDs on everyone. Let's join them there.
Senior volunteers put the breeches and corsages on the local volunteers who are about to be certified. At the 33rd Local Volunteer Training Camp for Leaders, besides the lessons, the most important event is the volunteer certification. At the volunteer certification ceremony, 83-year-old volunteer Tolakel puts on the commissioner IDs on everyone. Even though she has to adjust the ID card several times, what is significant is the meaning of passing on experiences. Despite her illness, Eunice insists on not using the wheelchair. With everyone's best wishes, she expresses her vow.
I vow to be a Tzu Chi volunteer forever and persevere till my last breath.
Besides indoor classes, at the training camp, senior volunteers also lead the participants to visit Tzu Chi care recipients. During the 5-day training camp, local volunteers not only work on their home visitation skills, but they also reaffirm their initial aspiration to help the less fortunate people.
A detention center in Eastern Dominican Republic houses around 700 inmates. In 2017, the center asked Tzu Chi to help them to host high school education classes for the inmates. Volunteers also provided them with stationery, shoes, as well as teaching Jing's aphorism to inspire the goodness in their hearts.
With permission from the Ministry of Education in 2017, a detention center in La Romana requested Tzu Chi volunteers to set up a high school division for adults. The volunteers also go there to teach Jing's aphorisms.
We hope what you learn here will be a very good experience. No one is more noble or lower than anyone else. Everyone is equal.
Those completing the 4-year high school equivalent courses must continue serving their terms in the prison, but their spirit to do good can have positive impacts on other inmates.
In Taiwan, Tzu Chi hospitals in Hualien and Dalian are co-hosting the OSCE test for 88 traditional Chinese medicine students in their 4th and 5th years of medical school. The hospital turned the traditional paper exam to real clinical tests so that these future doctors can learn to practice class knowledge on their patients face to face. Changing the traditional paper exam to the standardized reality clinical test, Hualien and Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital co-host the objective structured clinical examination.
How to ask them questions, how to talk with the patients precisely, or do they have compassionate feelings? All these can't be tested in the traditional exam. Only this type of one-on-one and standardized interaction with patients can give us examiners a better evaluation method.
The standardized patients perform all kinds of situations, and the student must give a prescription from many clinical skills. The OSCE is aiming to test if the student can absorb what's on the textbook and practice it correctly in the clinic.
In reality, the patient won't respond to us like what the textbook teaches. So you must find out the information you want through different ways. Through OSCE, we can better understand what skills we are lacking.
Through OSCE, the students can find out what they lack as teachers can review their teaching progress in order to improve the quality, so that these future doctors can be well-trained when they are hosting real clinics. In the United States, a lean management course was held at the Jingzi Books and Cafe in Tzu Chi U.S. headquarters, aiming to teach everyone how to reduce waste in human resources and time. The staff and the volunteers listened attentively and looked down to notes in order to carry out the charity work more efficiently.
Li Yuzhen, the speaker of lean management, says that if you don't put things at the right place and have to buy new ones constantly, it is a waste of resources. You should manage your environment and simplify the procedure so it can work more efficiently.
We do everything with a focus on man. We must know how to reduce waste on human resources, time, and space.
Li Yuzhen also gives another example of placing tags on similar medicines to improve identifications and safety. A little change like this can reduce mistakes.
I work in the finance, and the management of financial files is very important. After this class, we'll go through other files to see what files are from the past or we hardly use and take them out first.
A useful part is that you can pass it forward. If you must pass something forward, the SOP must be very clear, so whoever is taking over will also know how it works.
She wants us to really understand what is loving Tzu Chi, what is gratitude, respect, and love, and be mindful.
After the staff and volunteers apply what they learned in this lean management class, they will be able to simplify a lot of things and work more efficiently.
A student parent, Chen Yanfu in Tzu Chi Austin office, holds an Eastern egg activity every year. When he designed the games, the core value is to make sure children can learn the spirit of teamwork and to respect and be polite to each other.
A Tzu Chi Humanity class in Austin always includes an event for parents for the Easter event. Chen Yanfu, a father, is very creative. He designed the event in a way that the games must be conducted by teams. And the students must learn to respect and cooperate with each other. Picking up the eggs symbolizes friendship and care. Everyone also purchases food to raise funds for international relief.
How dangerous is PM 2.5? Global research on this matter have existed more than a decade, with the United Nations listing PM 2.5 as a Class 1 carcinogen in 2013. In彰化Daishi village, residents have a much higher rate of cancer, which they suspected is the result of being close to the 6 Napa cracker facility. As air pollution becomes more common and serious, we need to not only think about what we eat and drink, but also the air we breathe.
那烧很多，还叫救护车来，那个消防车来。有这个我们都有跟署内去。对，要登记啊。有，我们都有登记。
Living with the 6th naphtha cracker facility for 20 years, Shu Yijie looks at the air monitoring vehicle every day. For villagers living in Daishi village, is no different than living in a gas chamber.
Someone has died of lung cancer over here. His wife also has lung cancer. This person suffered a bitter fate and hung himself because of the cancer. This person was very good to me and also died of lung cancer.
Since there are some 300 chimneys rising from the ground, the cancer rate in this area is surprisingly high. Over time, the village has developed a reputation of being a cancer village. The 6th naphtha cracker facility is the most famous air pollution case in Taiwan, but PM 2.5 pollution is a national problem.
Because PM 2.5 is very fine, it can accompany many other toxic substances, such as heavy metals, dioxin, volatile organic gases. These toxic substances are a Class 1 carcinogen.
Under the microscope, we see black, white, and various colors, which are different chemical compounds associated with PM 2.5. All these items are poisons and are heavy metals produced by the factory that are absorbed in fine aerosols and inhaled into the body, passing through the alveoli and finally into the blood in the body. According to a study, heavy metal deposits can lead to lung cancer, stroke, heart attack, fetal growth retardation, cervical cancer, and other serious diseases.
Because it causes an inflammatory reaction throughout the body, the mortality rate will be higher with these cancers.
In the domestic academic community, this cancer map from 1972 to 1981 shows when the majority of coal-fired power plants were just established. The mortality rate for male lung cancer in Taiwan is still relatively low in the yellow areas and in green areas, which are the national average. However, 30 years later, Taichung, Zhanghua, Yunlin, and Jiayi saw the rate rise to purple and red levels, which coincides with areas near coal-fired power plants.
在云林，那在嘉义比较靠海边这边的，
In Yunlin and Jiayi near the beach, the bronchial and the respiratory tracts of men and cancer rates are increased significantly. If we look at the hobbits in Zhanghua, according to the Department of Health, the smoking rate is actually made to low when compared to the rest of Taiwan.
Studies point out that PM 2.5 can fly for 10 kilometers, and Daishi village is just 3 kilometers away from the 6th naphtha cracker facility. It's impossible to stay home all day, but do these residents need to breathe such poison? From government officials to businesses, everyone can see with their own 2 eyes the source of pollution. However, it is only by shutting off the switch for manufacturing can we truly get clean air.
As part of Tzu Chi's project Hope of Disaster Risk Reduction, Tzu Chi Foundation is rebuilding 6 schools in Miaoli. Recently, groundbreaking ceremonies have been held in Yuanli Senior High School and Gongguan Junior High School. At the occasion, teachers and students impressed with their gratitude. In addition, the Vice President of Tzu Chi Foundation encouraged the students to harbor gratitude and study diligently.
The classrooms at Yuanli Senior High School, which is 50 years old, are dilapidated. Among the schools that Tzu Chi helps rebuild, this school has the highest number of classrooms that will be reconstructed.
良辰吉日动土奠基.
The reconstruction is expected to be completed by 2021. Miaoli County Magistrate appreciates Tzu Chi for contributing to education.
所有的家长、所有的老师还有同学，他们都感受。
The parents, teachers, and students have felt the great love of Tzu Chi. I hope people will face every day with gratitude.
学生见证了这一刻。
The students have witnessed the moment. They are beginning to know how to be grateful and how to participate. Therefore, this is more than a construction project, but a part of education.
Meanwhile, a groundbreaking ceremony is also held at Gongguan Junior High School. Tzu Chi Foundation Vice President has delivered Master Zheng Yan's best wishes, hoping the students can harbor gratitude.
可以像这个公馆这里的陶土。
Students are like the pottery clay at Gongguan that can be shaped and made into numerous artworks. This means we can help nurture them as they pursue a better future.
对于未来有更好的设备。
We are very fortunate because in the future we will be learning in better facilities.
In the future, the school buildings will be energy-saving structures. Teachers and students will be learning in sturdy and safe school environment.
157 Tzu Chi volunteers from Tainan have returned to the Jingsi abode in Hualien to cultivate their spirit as well as share their experiences with Master Zheng Yan. Among the volunteers is Li Chunyu, who goes to the recycling station every day to listen to Dharma lessons, even though she suffers from cancer.
157 Tzu Chi volunteers from Tainan have returned to the Jingsi abode in Hualien to cultivate their spirit. Among them is Li Chunyu, who goes to the recycling station every day to listen to morning sermons, even though she was diagnosed with breast cancer 3 years ago.
晚上睡觉都会期待。
When I sleep at night, I always look forward to the Dharma lessons the next morning. I want to go out to care for other people. I don't want them to come to the hospital as I don't want my Dharma families to be so busy. So I uphold this belief and tell myself to stand up quickly.
环保的这个过程，其实也真的是能够让我们社区的老人家很开心。
Tzu Chi volunteers in China combine free clinics with recycling work, inviting seniors in their community to contribute their share. They also share experiences with their Tzu Chi family in Tainan.
我们要先人的生态净化，空气自然就会清新。各位菩萨们，大家所做的呢，无不都是有形无形，都在净化人间人心。请大家对的事做就对了。
Through the 2-day visit to the Jingsi abode, the participants have not only found back their initial aspiration, but have also pledged to continue to walk the Bodhisattva path.
How should a retired life be like? The 73-year-old Ong Yo-hong has never thought of that she would be involved in Tzu Chi wholeheartedly after retirement. Her life has been fulfilled with many Tzu Chi activities, and she has changed a lot in the way she sees life in retirement. Let's look at how she persevered in serving for 16 years.
你看我星期一我要去分类，星期二我做福田。
The 73-year-old Ng Yo-hong has a full schedule every day doing recycling, visiting care recipients, holding parent and children class. All these Tzu Chi activities have kept her busy.
I feel that since we're old now, there's no time to waste and stay home doing nothing. That would be dull. How fortunate it is for me to have something to do now.
After she joined Tzu Chi, she has participated to learn many new things which had inspired more of her potentials.
Other volunteers said that the more letters you know, the more things you understand, the more path you'll go through and everything will become more. You must walk out of your comfort zone to learn that you've been locked in a greenhouse like a fragile flower. Life shouldn't depend on others' protection.
She had recruited more than 600 members during her 16 years of being at Tzu Chi Volunteers, and she visited them regularly every month. These old members are touched by her continuous giving.
I feel very touched, and this can encourage more people to do good deeds in order to help more people in need.
Very few people will give selflessly, and this really is worthy for us to admire and learn from her.
Joining Tzu Chi has changed her entire life and bring her happiness words can't describe. Also in Malaysia, Selangor's Bukit Jelutong Tzu Chi recycling station gathered a group of recycling volunteers from various ethnicity backgrounds to put in efforts to promote a clean community and environmental protection.
I'm happy to do recycling. I really enjoy doing it.
It's good. You need to recycle.
Volunteers from different ethnicities gather in Malaysia's Bukit Jelutong Tzu Chi recycling station, which is one of the most beautiful scenes.
Here are many people, so I can meet new friends. I like to come here because everyone works and chats together.
But here a lot of clothes. Many of the recycled clothes are new, so I'm very surprised that they are being thrown away when it's completely new. We also recycle many plastic bottles, so I feel I'm saving the world.
I'm saving my earth, actually. I'm saving my earth.
There is also a college student who turns the disposed items into art pieces.
I hope what we do here can raise the public's awareness of environmental protection.
Little efforts from everyone can join to be a great force to continue to promote environmental protection concept with actions. 24 Tzu Chi volunteers from Malaysia traveled to Kaohsiung, Taiwan for 4 days and visited many recycling stations. Besides learning how to invite people to practice environmental protection, the volunteers from Malaysia also joined the recycling volunteers to do morning sermons.
Receiving a warm welcome, 24 Tzu Chi volunteers from Malaysia are visiting the recycling station in Kaohsiung's Fengshan. In addition to understanding the station's hardware planning, they also want to learn how to do recycling.
During the 4 days, we visited different recycling stations to learn everyone's spirit and see how they practice environmental protection. This is something we still need to work hard to achieve it.
These volunteers came to Kaohsiung not only to learn the methods of management in recycling stations, but also get to know how to promote Dharma to other volunteers. At the Shisha recycling station, the volunteers listened to morning sermons every day for 10 years.
We repeat it several times. It's a review, and everyone can absorb Dharma lessons in depth.
Besides having interaction with the volunteers, Malaysian volunteers have observed a key point.
Caring people in need is very important, but we need someone to guide us. The process of the hard work over the past 10 years is really not easy.
Exploring different approaches and advantages carefully through their visit to the recycling stations, the volunteers will bring the precious experience back to Malaysia.
Tongue Sweeping Day is time to pay respect to the past and look forward to the future. DaAi Kindergarten teaches children about the cycle of life so they can be filial in time, as well as promoting a more environmental friendly ways to worship the ancestors. We will leave you with these images and thank you for joining us.